So in the previous segment, I was going through the plugin parameters briefly, but in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's required for DOCman List to function properly. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this pre-created menu link. Just to demonstrate right here. Okay, so this portion, so if you've already gone in and inserted, well, pause. Let me go ahead and backtrack a moment just to explain why I'm going to show this. So for those of you that may have never used a plugin, a content plugin before in Joomla, the way they normally work is they have a particular set of tags, if you will, and this type of tag you're able to insert inside one of your articles or categories. Pretty much anything that will process content plugins. So even, for example, the custom HTML module, you can turn on the option that says process content plugins in that, and you can insert some DOCman List code in there if you wished. But my preferred option is just to, insert the code into articles or categories. And so this is how all of these types of calls will start. It'll be the curly brace, followed by DOCman List, and then followed by some sort of parameters. Typically, since we do want to get subfolders, you're going to type in get underscore subfolders, and then the space, and then a number which corresponds to how many levels deep you want to retrieve folders. So you want to get this parent category and 2 levels worth of subcategories. And then there's an additional space, and then that's followed by a category ID typically. And pretty much all of the ones that I do, it's typically just the one category ID because there's one particular parent that I want to list. And then that category ID is then followed by a matching curly brace that ends the call. So where do you insert this code? Well, you can insert it within any of your articles. So for example, I'm going to pull open just the default getting started article that's here. And here I have the code DOCman List get subfolders 3 levels deep for category ID equal to 1. And that's really the basics. That's as simple as it gets. I'm going to go ahead and make a separate video just to kind of identify how you get these category IDs. But just to briefly explain it here, you have to go into your DOCman categories area, and unfortunately they made this a little bit more difficult in DOCman 2.0 than it used to be. But essentially what I do is I hover over a link, and then if you can see there at the bottom of my screen, the URL is displayed, and it has ampersand ID is equal to 11 at the end. And so that's how I know that the ID for this particular category is 11. The other way to do it is just to click on the category, and that'll actually take you to that particular page, and then you can tell here that the ID is equal to 11 at the top. So like I said, it's not as easy as it used to be in DOCman 1.6 because there used to be an actual column here in the table with the category ID displayed for you. So now you have to actually kind of peruse a little more closely to get that ID, but it's still fairly simple. And I actually have a way of kind of displaying that for you, just to kind of show an additional example here. So the typical way I might recommend, wow, I'm going to have to create a whole slew of movies here. So get subfolders, oops, subfolders, can't spell, folders 99 levels deep for category ID equal to 0, which corresponds to the root category. And then if I use the use nested categories layout and save it, I'll be able to show you a new capability of the plugin in just a moment. So at this point, I've inserted the code, I've grabbed the ID that I want, but still, if I refresh the page here, I'm still going to get this sort of pseudo error message that says, please create a menu item for the DOCman List menu type. And it has to be for all categories, so it's going to be a general DOCman link. And the main reason for this is because DOCman List needs that, and so does DOCman for that matter, to create URLs properly. So going back here, I'm going to go ahead and add in a new menu, because typically what I've been doing is I create this hidden menu in the back end. And this hidden menu I don't display anywhere, but I use it to create the link for DOCman. So this is going to be the hierarchical document list. And by default, it's set to all categories here. And so I'll just give that a title of document and save and close. So, oops, save failed. Another menu item has been used. So what's happening here is I believe the one that I trashed is still in the system. So let me clear that out. I can fully delete it. Okay. Empty trash. All right. So now I'll switch back to the hidden menu. I'll go back to seeing everything. Click here. Our document list. Wait for the page to reload. And then hit document. Save and close. All right. So once you've created that menu item for DOCman, that should be all that the plugin needs. So now if you refresh, you should get this. All right. So currently I think I have a few options turned off. So I was probably testing out a few things earlier. Let me go ahead and turn some of the defaults back on. So in terms of display options, I usually have show the plus minus icons set to yes by default. That's actually a new feature in DOCman List 2.6.4. The ability to turn those off. That was a client request. So now we can kind of see folder icons again. You can expand, collapse everything. But the main reason why I wanted to show you this is here in the front end, what I've added in is a tooltip, essentially. So for all these categories, you can hover over them and you can see what the ID is really quickly. So in some cases, you may want to have kind of like a hidden page on your site, maybe that you can use as a lookup for your document IDs, or yeah, your DOCman category IDs. Might be able to create a reference page that way. Actually, I'll go ahead and I'll do that as an example using the hidden menu. So let's see, hidden menu. Well, I guess first I should create a new article. DOCman category ID. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna do much here except for make that same bit of code. Use nested categories layout. Get subfolders 99 levels deep for the root category, which essentially means get all categories when you use the 0 there. And save and close. So now that I have the article, I can go to the hidden menu and add in a new menu item. There's nothing special here, just creating a link to an article, nothing too fancy. So create, oops, it's not the right one. Articles, single article. Okay, let me find it. So, DOCman category. Okay, let me save this. And I'm not saving and closing just yet because I want to get the alias here. So here's what I could do. So once you have that hidden menu item, you can essentially I think I know why it's not working. I kind of forgot about the, I don't have the htaccess file in place yet for this site, so I need to make sure and have it with index.php in the front. So if you do have your htaccess file enabled to remove the index.php part, then that previous link would have worked fine. In this case, I have to put it in between. Let's see here, the page is loaded, and I have my little reference for the category IDs. So, this might be something I might document and, share internally with staff, and they can use this page to look up IDs if they ever have that need. All right. So let me go back to the article manager. And let me make sure I'm not getting too off topic here. So how to use the DOCman List plugin. Well, all that's been how to use the DOCman List plugin with just the basics. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here and go ahead and create those other short videos that I mentioned on well, I guess I kind of covered everything I wanted to go over in this video.